Okay, and the button has been pressed, so let's see what happens.
Wizard.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a bit of a road...
I've got a push notification.
Well, that's always good. Yes, that's a good... Sorry, are we keeping you up, Carlos?
Oh, I've got a notification.
Notification. I haven't, actually, but then... Oh, no, yes, I have. There it comes. Right, so we aren't... Nev's got a mouse pointer up his nose again. Let me just move that out of the way. There we go. It's a bit ticklish, isn't it, Nev?
It was,
yeah, indeed. Indeed.
Hello to everybody in the chat room.
Greetings, chat.
Graham Haley, Thomas Mandrake,
Graham Haley.
Masha, Liz.
Okay. I don't think... Have we ever done a Saturday afternoon before?
I don't believe we've done it. We've done a Saturday morning.
It's good practice for next week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we'll be going live
And
about this
Captain Al is in the chat room.
Is he?
So
Horribly wrong. then.
X-rated comments.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
In fact, we would be disappointed.
Well, I
if there
would
weren't
be,
any.
absolutely. Yeah, Blue Spanner of Death.
Blue
at the
Spanner
ready,
of
please.
Death.
I'm ready with it.
Good.
Have we got a new router sorted? Yes, we have, Graham.
Yeah, it's in and on. Yes,
It's here.
Absolutely.
It's literally here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just below me there, the new router.
Does it even show on the wide? Oh, the wide has just got a picture of you, Carlos, which I think is nice.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, I keep doing this. We're going to have to get me another touchscreen. I'm sorry. We have had one technical issue because the touchscreen
has died.
Trouble is I'm so used to pressing it, I keep tapping it and wondering why nothing
Shall I
is
see?
happening.
Shall I? I'll research.
You don't want to know how much one is because I've already
Okay.
looked. Okay.
Yeah, but you're probably looking at like
Normal places.
statelyhomes.com /
How-
touchscreens.
You were thinking of going down to Wyndham Market or something, weren't you? Yeah.
Wyndham Market.
Well, I was going to
That's
get.
good local knowledge there,
I-
Nev.
I-
I'm very
yes.
impressed.
I was going to go down to the shop and see when there's one reduced to clear.
Okay,
There you go.
that
Or
works.
one of those
Yeah.
electronic shops in the high street.
Maplin. Sorry. Oh, sorry. No, sorry. I didn't mean to swear.
Hold on, MSI's not a bad make.
It's an okay, mate. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll take that.
20-inch touchscreen with
20
keyboard.
inch?
What's that
Dear
one?
Lord, it's huge.
Oh, all right.
Good heavens. No, that's lovely. Carry on. Sorry, yeah.
All right, 20-inch touchscreen. It comes with
Yeah.
a keyboard and mouse as well.
What?
If
Hey?
you need to use it. $69.99.
Oh.
Hey, that I'll do.
That's very cheap. That's very cheap.
It's a tank of fuel.
It is.
Yeah.
That
Just
is
looking at the spec.
alarmingly cheap. What's wrong with it?
Touchscreen. It's got low power
Last
usage.
one I bought was like in the 200s mark.
This is a great
20-inch
touchscreen.
What sort of touchscreen?
Touchscreen, very good condition.
Oh, second hand.
Can be used as a touchscreen or monitor.
Touchscreen is good. I don't mind touchscreen.
Ideal for use.
Anyway, this is not very exciting for those listening, and are we going to try and start on time?
Hey,
'Cause we have about 13 seconds. In.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. Hold on.
You right there? What's the matter?
UK time.
Okay.
It's-
No, it's a bit late now. It's probably unless.
No, hold on. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's 22 seconds past. Right, I'll count you down.
Oh, okay. Oh, blimey. Oh, we're going to start. Are we?
We're going to start on time. Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
I haven't got any show notes.
It's a bit crazy.
What a show notes?
That's all right. You don't even bother using them anyway.
How rude.
So I'll count you down from 10. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
All right. You got the credits loaded up.
Yeah, why not?
Good. All right.
Right.
It's all a bit rushed, really.
It is. Yes. Yes.
Nothing will go wrong though.
Oh, thanks for that.
I'm touching wood.
Are you?
Oh, paper. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
You're listening to the Plain Talking UK podcast, the UK-based podcast written by a passenger for anyone. And here are your hosts, Carlos Stebbings, Matt Smith and Neville Bounds.
Well, hello and welcome to episode number 100 199 of the Plain Talking UK podcast. I'm Carl Stebbings, and joining me, as always, this week in the Barnes studio
Yes, absolutely.
is my co-host Matt Smith. Greetings, Matt. How are you?
Greetings. Yes, I'm not too bad, thank you. Yes, not too bad
Good.
at all. We're sort of struggling with a few technical minor issues at the moment, but it's all good. And which is why our start was so delayed at 5 seconds late.
Yeah, 5 seconds past the hour. It's terrible.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
Sorry. I'll try harder next week. I'm very sorry.
The touchscreen's having a bit of an issue this week. I think
it's not there. That's what the issue is.
There's no touchscreen.
No,
Matt's having to do things with a
an
remote
iPhone,
mouse,
which he's very excited about.
I know.
Yes.
And also joining us this week, as always, is our amazing other co-host, Mr. Neville Bounds. How are you, Nev?
Good afternoon. Yes, I'm very well. Thanks very much, Carlos. And nice change to do the show on a Saturday afternoon.
Saturday
isn't it?
afternoon. We
Haven't
don't
done
do
that
that
for
very often,
ever, I don't think.
It's
I
good
can't
practice for
remember.
next week, Nev. That's the
Yeah,
way I'm looking
will
at it.
be.
Because
Yeah.
obviously we're doing it on a Saturday next week.
Saturday next week. I know it's.
This is weird. How is episode 199? How did that
I know
happen?
199.
Sorry.
Nice, mate. 200 next week. Wow, guys,
I know.
honestly. It's going to be
I know.
epic. So welcome
wait.
everyone who has joined us in the live chat room this afternoon. Loads of names in there. Barbara Parrish, Richard King, Liz Piper, Thomas Mandrake, Fernando is in there. Amir Patel. We've got Graham Haley in there.
Wow.
Neville Bounds is also in there.
Who?
Always
Never
good
heard
to
of
have
him.
Neville. Tony S is in the chat room. Mariana as well. I can see Mariana there as well in the chat room. Mash is in the chat room. I think I haven't missed anyone out. And also joining us in the chat room this week is someone who should be concentrating on their vacation and their cruise, and that is Dr. Steph. Because Dr. Steph is also in the chat room, and she's having a nice holiday, bless her. But I did notice, though, for those of you guys and girls who do follow Dr. Steph on the various social media out places, you'll notice that Dr. Steph has been running every day
She
this
does,
week.
yeah, but that's why she looks like
Every
she
day
does
is
and
a
why we
marathon.
look like we do.
I just hope that Steph doesn't hope. I hope she doesn't think that I'm going to be doing marathon running when I come out to see her in later on this year.
Oh, right,
'Cause,
that would be fun.
The only place I'm going to be running to, Steph, is your fridge for beer.
Right. Okay. Okay. Mind you, Gemma will probably join her, to be fair.
Gemma, Gemma.
absolutely.
Yeah, I probably shan't see Steph or Gemma for the whole duration of our visit to
Lovely.
Steph's, because they'll be running somewhere. So welcome to everyone who's joined us in the
We're
chat room.
slightly off topic here.
It's the 13th of January, and as we said, it's just gone past 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in the UK. And, we've got loads of stuff to get through this week, and it's also a mention as well to those of you who won the various prizes on the Christmas competition. I can tell you all that I did yesterday post off the prizes to Tony S. It was David Kavanagh and Lucas Tisbury as well. All sent those off. So hopefully they were sent by Royal Mail. So I'm guessing
so they're never going to arrive. Great.
I'm guessing that you'll receive your prizes in about 3 years' time. And that'll be Tony's that arrives in 3 years' time.
Right.
Yeah,
okay,
in the UK.
Yeah, the UK, yeah.
For the Australian prize winner, you'll get yours. It'll make a nice retirement prize.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe Christmas next year. This year. Anyway, yeah.
But no, that was fun. That Christmas competition, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
We're going to put, I think,
We're thinking
caps
about doing
on.
one for the summer.
Yeah,
aren't
for the
we? 'Cause
summertime.
We normally do one a year, but we thought perhaps we might do one in the summer.
Do a
as well.
summertime.
Yeah.
Summertime quiz. Yeah.
Indeed.
Well, we are going to push on then with the show, and as we've all got roast dinners to go to at some point today, I reckon. Have we?
On a Saturday?
Yeah, having a roast dinner tonight.
No, don't be silly.
Steph's having a cruise dinner.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Shall we do some aviation related stuff?
Yeah, let's do some maybe. So we are going to start the show then, as we do each week, with our rundown of the weekly news from around the world and the UK. So if you're ready, Matt,
I am.
and if you're ready, Nev,
Yep.
let's go.
No, I've broken it. I'm so sorry. Oh no, that's the wrong. Oh dear, that went well.
Great stuff.
Yeah, that was supposed to be menu option 7, and that didn't. See, I don't like it. We're gonna have to get me another
We're gonna
touch
have to get
screen.
another
I'm so
touch screen.
sorry. I know we don't want to be spending
dear.
money because we've got a big 200 coming, but anyway, we'll just press this button here and pretend like it never happened.
Okay.
All right.
So, kicking off this week's first news story. This one is especially for any of you guys and girls out there who use one of these new fandangled sort of smart luggage, the ones that have got built-in...
Smart luggage?
Yeah,
What's that?
Matt, have you
is that
seen
all
these?
with the RF tags or something?
No. These you can buy a suitcase which has got, you get these battery packs for your phones. You
Yes.
can charge up.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
have
yeah.
got built-in battery packs and built-in everything. Really, you could virtually get on
I'm
them.
not sure that batteries and luggage are the way forward
Well,
at the moment.
That is what the story says.
Okay, right.
This one is on the AFR.com Financial Review. Apparently, this is news website of the year. So the headline is New Airline Rules for Lithium Battery Powered Smart Luggage. I personally haven't got any of these smart luggage, but I have seen them on online for sale. So if you own smart luggage, you should test its intelligence as soon as possible. The IQ exam that matters if you can take out its lithium battery. On Monday, airlines including American Airlines, KLM, Virgin Atlantic, Delta, United and Southwest will no longer allow passengers to fly with smart bags that contain non-removable lithium batteries. The policy change applies to the checked and carry-on bags that require lithium batteries to power high-tech features such as USB charging stations and location trackers. Customers who travel with a smart bag must be able to remove the battery in case the bag has to be checked in at any point with the customer's journey. American Airlines said in a statement if the battery cannot be removed, the bag will not be allowed. The rule springs from safety concerns with lithium metal and lithium ion polymer batteries that are susceptible to emitting smoke or catching fire and even exploding. Between March 1991 and May 2017, the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, documented 160 incidents involving lithium batteries that were being transported as cargo or baggage. The agency already prohibits passengers from checking spare lithium batteries used for personal electronic devices and portable chargers, as well as several lithium-powered items such as e-cigarettes, vape pens, and the FAA permits the items inside the cabin. The airlines are not snubbing all smart bags. Luggage with extractable batteries are going to be permitted with some oversight, and also passengers who check their smart carriers must remove the battery and tote it on board as a carry-on. The battery can stay, but most have to be turned off per FAA protocol. However, if a flight attendant decides to gate check the bag, you must remove the battery before it goes into the belly of the plane. So I haven't, obviously, like I said, I haven't got one of these smart luggage bags. I wonder if any of our listeners have got one of these smart suitcases or luggage bags with built-in chargers. Nev, I'm guessing, have you got one of these?
No, not really. I just got this whole bag of stuff that I take with me everywhere. All the cables and chargers and what have you. So,
Yeah.
And I normally end up leaving something in the hotel room somewhere.
I'm very good at leaving behind chargers. Actually, that's what I usually do. I usually leave like a cable, or at least sometimes I've even actually left the whole thing attached to the wall, and then come home and then thought, oh blast.
I mean, these suitcases with these built-in charging units, surely it's easier just to buy a cheap suitcase and buy one of those battery packs that's about the same
Just
size
shove
as
one
this,
in, right? Yeah.
and use that to charge your phone, because that's essentially what these are used for, charging your phone. Although I have seen one online, there was a video I think online for a company that have designed one of these suitcases with motors built into the wheels, so you can actually sit on the suitcase and drive them around the terminal.
No, the one I saw was it was tracking it. You had a thingy in your back pocket, and the suitcase basically followed the tracker.
Yeah.
And so it was just you see this little lonely suitcase wheeling its way across the terminal behind you.
I could definitely see the airline's point, though. There is obviously
I agree.
They've got to take this into consideration, because I can imagine that the batteries that are in these suitcases are fairly, not tiny.
Well, and also, you'd hope, depending on the manufacturer, of course, that it's probably
good quality.
Hopefully, good quality. If it's say someone like Samsonite or whatever, I mean, you'd hope that you're not likely to have burnout issues. Essentially,
Captain Al apparently used to have one, but it caught fire.
Right.
Okay.
Fair enough then.
Fair enough.
Happy days.
Happy days. So we're going to move swiftly on to the
Okey-dokey.
next story, and this one is for you, Matt.
It is indeed, yes. This is a Ryanair story as its story too. It's on the chroniclelive.co.uk, and the headline is Ryanair has revealed the fine you'll pay if you flout the new hand luggage rules. Ryanair passengers could be hit with a £50 fine if they break the budget airline's new hand luggage rules. From Monday, passengers will only be allowed to bring on one carry-on on board on the plane unless they forked out the extra £5 for priority boarding. Standard ticket holders will still be able to take 2 small bags without paying an additional luggage charge, but larger carry-on items such as wheelie bags will be placed in the hold when the passenger arrives at the departure gate. The hand luggage allowed on the plane with standard ticket holders must not exceed 35 centimetres by 20 centimetres by 20 centimetres. That's very small, isn't it? It's a very small bag. Anyway, Ryanair states on its website failure to comply will result in a charge of £50 per item and may also lead to delays for all passengers on board. Ryanair reduced the fees for checked bags in September to encourage more passengers to check in bags and cut down the number of customers who bring 2 items of hand luggage into the boarding gate. I mean, I don't know. I'm sort of I don't know. I was sort of a little bit on the fence on this one, really.
Actually, that says on here after there, Matt, that the check-in baggage allowance has increased from 15 to 20 kilos for all bags, which is quite handy, actually, because I use Ryanair, and the 15 kilo is quite tough to keep within when you're going away for a week.
And it does say that the fee has been cut from £35 and euros to 25 for this 20 kilogram bag. Ryanair also states on its website failure to comply will result in a charge of £50 per item and may also lead to delays for all passengers on board. It's just a bit I get why they're doing it. I never really understood. I mean, I suppose we all hate waiting for our luggage to arrive. I suppose if you're confident the luggage is going to be waiting for you at the other end, you wouldn't feel so bad about it. But I mean, I don't think there's a single person I know that has not lost their luggage or had their luggage lost at some point. Has that happened to you? Have you ever had any bags go missing?
Yeah, a couple of times. I think one. Luckily, they've been short haul things.
Right.
Nothing has ever been lost. I don't think on the longer haul flights that I've done. But a lot of inconvenience, obviously. But not exactly a showstopper, really.
No, I suppose not. You can
I think for most people, including myself, will agree. I think when you're going on, it's happened to me before. When you go to an airport and you check your suitcase in it at the check-in desk, and it goes along the various belts and stuff and gets took to your plane, you're normally fairly confident that's going to arrive at your plane, go in the hold of the aircraft, and everything's tickety-boo. But in the situations which happened before with me, when you're at the gate and the flight attendants or the crew say, can you leave your can your hand luggage suitcase, the little wheelie one, go in the hold, and it gets a tag put on, it gets stood near the door, near the gate, and you think, oh, blimey, they're going to put that on. And you get on a plane. In that situation, I think you're...
See, I don't know, actually, because if they're doing it as you're boarding the plane, I would probably feel more confident that somebody will run it down the stairs.
Hopefully.
And put it
or throw it down the stairs.
I mean? Yeah, well, throw it down the stairs to the poor innocent baggage handler at the bottom. But, I can't help but sort of feel... I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I mean,
50 quid. There we go. So for those of you flying Ryanair, make sure you stick to the rules. Otherwise, you're going to be 50 quid lighter.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's quite a few beers in most European bars, let's be honest.
So moving on to the next story, Nev.
This is on the News Hub website from New Zealand, and it talks about British Airways to axe reclining seats on some flights. I think that's unnecessary abuse of furniture, but I think they mean it in a different context, possibly.
Yeah, a bit harsh. Yeah.
BA has found a new way to cut ticket prices, but it has come at the cost of comfort. The airline will fit its new fleet of 35 planes with non-reclining seats in economy class this year. The company says it's not only for short-haul flights less than 4 hours. Sorry, it is only for short-haul flights less than 4 hours, but that could still be as far as to North Africa. The seats will be set to a gentle recline, a seating configuration often found on budget airlines at as fares as it is less expensive. However, not everyone will be upset about the change. It also means passengers can't take up legroom of the person behind them or recline whilst the person behind them is eating a meal. A spokesperson said the charge changes will also allow the airline to offer more low fares to customers. We're installing at-seat power throughout the aircraft and will soon offer on-board Wi-Fi. The new aircraft will have brand new seats set to a gentle recline to ensure everyone in the cabin enjoys a comfortable journey. Now, yes, the protocol of reclining your seat. I've seen so many arguments, and Mrs. Nev has been on the receiving end of someone reclining their seat right back against her while she's trying to have a meal. Yeah. And this person in front would not move it forward. No. So we had to have a word.
Yes.
But this is. It'll be interesting to see how this works out. I'm just thinking about when I go on even short haul flights. So I'm going to go to Glasgow on Wednesday of this coming week.
You've got an insane week ahead, haven't you? To be fair,
it's going to be a bit hectic. I hope it all works out. Otherwise, it'll be slightly embarrassing if I don't show up at any of these things. Yes. But when I go to Glasgow, for example, I will probably not recline my seat at all. But if I was going to Portugal, though, so it's 2.5 hour flight, then I probably would a little bit, but not. I must admit,
even on the long haul flights, I've never actually reclined my seat because it doesn't. I'm not sort of. I sleep. The trouble is, in most cases, the incline, if you like, is so small. I don't really benefit. It's not like I feel like I'm lying down. So you think, well, I might as well not cause any inconvenience to the person behind me because I'm going to be as uncomfortable either sat up or reclined by 0.08 of a millimetre or whatever it feels like sometimes when you push a.
It's one of the
but questions. Then my long haul stuff, all I've ever done is United, so perhaps that's unfair. But anyway,
I mean, how do we all feel about the situation? Say you're on a long haul flight, like Matt was saying, or you're on a short haul flight. Yeah. Is the recline of a seat a massive factor? Do you care about the person behind you when you recline your seat? Because I personally, for me, I hate reclining my seat because I think, oh my God, I'm going to really annoy the person behind me.
Yeah, true.
I think basically, if I'm going to recline my seat, I just look over my shoulder and just see whether that person's asleep or if they're awake. And if they're awake, I'll just say, is it okay if I move my seat back a little bit? And everybody's normally fine with that. But when people just go straight back from the non-reclined position to the fully reclined position without even any consideration for the person behind them, and I think that's a bit of bad form.
Well, and I had a similar experience actually. I mean, prior to my Flight Fear Solution counselling, shall we say, the one and only long haul flight that I ever did, bearing in mind obviously I was a nervous flyer anyway, was to New Zealand. So that's two very long flights, if you like. One was 10 hours and I think the other was 13. Back to back, and the bit from London to Kuala Lumpur was absolutely horrific, purely and simply because the lady in front of me, before they'd even sort of before we'd even left the tarmac, had fully reclined her seat, and then the flight attendant who wandered through sort of said, "Oh, you can recline your seat. Look, here's how to do it." And then the gentleman behind literally held it while she tried to do it, and said, "Yeah, but you're not going to be doing that." And literally sort of like held the seat. That was the thing. As I mean, if we'd all been bolt upright, that would have been absolutely fine. But of course, I'd now got the lady in front of me who'd fully reclined her seat. So my little, IFE was this. I say that it's like was what about sort of 6 inches away from my face. I mean. To be fair, the cabin crew tried to do something about it, but he was really not a very nice person. And I actually said to the crew, "Don't worry about it," and I said, as long as you don't mind me sort of getting up and having a wander around. And I said, because I am going to have to, because I felt so claustrophobic. This is the trouble. It's because it was so close to my face. I felt really claustrophobic. But they sort of said, come and have a wander around in the, the galley and stuff. And I actually ironically, I had a really nice flight because I spent it talking to the cabin crew, and they were really nice. And what was amazing was when I then came home from New Zealand. They couldn't do it all the way, unfortunately, but the bit from Kuala Lumpur back to London, I went to the desk to sort of like check in, because it was like two parts of a flight, if you see what I mean. So you still had to go in and check in. And I went to the desk and they went, I'm terribly sorry, sir, you've come to the wrong desk. And I was like, no, this is it. This is my ticket and all this kind of thing. No, sir, if you'd like to go over there, please. And they pointed me over to the loungy thing. It's like, no, I'm not supposed to be in there. And they'd actually bumped my flight up to a business class seat on the way home.
There we go. Let's hit
which was very nice.
They obviously knew you were going to become this aviation media podcaster at some point in
right,
time.
Okay, indeed. So that was actually, believe it or not, that was Malaysian Airways that I did that with. That was very nice. Anyway, sorry.
Going to the chat room.
Yes, okay.
A few comments from the chat room. Tony S. says he hates reclining seats.
Yeah.
Liz Piper says it's a good thing what BA are doing. Graham Haley, he totally agrees with Tony. Sounds pretty good. We've also got Jeff Braithwaite says that next thing, people are going to be standing in the aisles like on a bus. Falco... Falco is obviously quite a tall chap. He's said that reclining seats are horrible for tall people like me.
I bet.
Especially when the person sitting in front of me compresses my knees by reclining.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and Mash has said that she's had train journeys longer than 4 hours, and those seats don't recline.
I must admit, the trains here aren't too bad. The leg room is not bad actually on the trains, is it? And of course they don't recline and they're perfectly comfortable, as you say. So I don't know. As I say, if everybody, because the thing is they don't move far enough back for you to feel, especially these days, you don't feel like you've got any real benefit, do you? I don't think.
Apparently Falco is 6'5" tall.
Good heavens! Wow. Yes. Gosh,
Blimey.
That must be a challenge for you.
Actually, just before we move on to the next story, this particular story that Nev's just read about. There's a survey on here from MediaWorks, and it says it's a survey. They've done a quick click-on survey. Is it okay to recline your seat on a short-haul flight? Yes, 37%. No, 63%.
Really? Okay,
Ooh.
that's quite a. That's quite a strong majority, isn't it, for one particular thing? Yeah, pretty
there we
good.
go.
Yeah.
So next story, moving on, and this one is on the NewYorkPost.com. I expect you wrote.
I like New York.
You had the New York Post, I would imagine, to read.
Yes,
whilst
I
you
did.
were there.
Yes, it was delivered to my room. I'll have you
Oh,
know.
yes. So this story then, a bit of a mystery story. This one. Here we go. So the headline: Top secret airline that flies into Area 51 is hiring. So for any of our pilots out there who fancy a job working for a top secret airline, remaining calm in a stressful situations, dealing with tricky customers and long hours in the sky. Flight attendants work hard, but a new airline job ad expects even more of hopeful applicants. Janet Airlines, which flies US government workers from Las Vegas to the mysterious Area 51 in Nevada, is looking for cabin crew who qualify for top secret government security clearance. Shrouded in mystery, the airline's fleet consists of unbranded planes operated by the US Air Force. And in a job advertisement posted on the website of private defense contractor AECOM or ACOM, candidates must be able to deal with the unusual incidents like hijackings or bomb threats. On top of duties expected of regular cabin crew, such as safety demonstrations, cleaning and emergency procedures, applicants must keep quiet about where they're going and what they're doing. Janet Airlines wasn't named after a mysterious woman. It stands for Just Another Non-Existent Terminal. But other than that, there is very little known about it. Flight tracking radar shows some of the flights with call signs starting with XXX, making the 45-minute journey to the nuclear facility at Tonopah, which has been the focus of many conspiracy theories. Other brief flights go to unspecified destinations nearby, believed to be the Area 51 facility, famous with alien hunters. The highly classified site at Groom Lake is believed to be used to test experimental aircraft and black projects and weapon systems. Its existence was only acknowledged publicly for the first time in 2005. Conspiracy theorists believe the top-secret military base contains the remains of an alien spaceship that crashed in the 1940s. No one aboard a Janet flight is allowed to reveal where they're going or what their job is. Some conspiracy theorists believe that the area holds the the remains of the alien spaceship, but an extraterrestrial expert who used to investigate UFOs for the British Ministry of Defence believes there is little to the rumours. Nick Pope, author of Encounter in Rendlesham Forest, which is not far from us, said the UFO and conspiracy theory community think it's a place where crash UFOs are kept and where the US military are trying to back-engineer this alien technology. Well, there we go. So if you want a job with a mystery airline, Janet are hiring. They're hiring cabin crew. I remember seeing these actually when we were in Vegas last year. I remember seeing these aircraft taking off from the airport there, and quite a distinct of 737. I think they use the 600s. I think the 737-600, if I'm not wrong, and they've got a red band that goes along, stretches along the fuselage. But fancy a job with these guys, Nev?
Be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think I like the sound of that very much indeed. Bit of breaking news. Mr. Rob Rusted, who you might have heard of, just to let us know that he has us on the big screen in his shop.
Oh, you're joking! Oh, no.
So I have said to him, do be careful when you're cutting your client's hair.
Yeah,
it's distracted.
Oh, blimey.
Oh, dear.
But he says we cut in a different room, so it'll be fine. So that's good.
Right, okay. Well,
on that note, I'll see you next Wednesday, Rob.
Right, okay.
At 4:45.
You're not. Yeah. I'm in on Thursday actually. In a pre 200th quick
same
haircut.
here,
So,
quick haircut
so I'm
for
going to
me.
say hello to Steph as well, because Steph, who makes my coffee every time I go in there, she's already in there. Yeah, she's always in there. Yeah.
Oh, greetings to everyone there then.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's because we've been making the TV work. That's what I was there this morning. That's what's been going on there.
It is the East Anglia's premier barbers. I think
it is.
Say
It's
that.
the only barbers, I think, as far as I'm concerned. But,
Right, so moving on to
I've got to
the
read
next
a story.
You've got to read a story.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
Sorry, mate.
I've got something that's whinging about an ad blocker on mine, but there we go. Never mind. All part of the fun.
The show notes did say that.
Did it?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, it just serves me right for not reading them then.
Yeah.
It is the CNBC website, and the headline is, between 5 minutes and 5 hours, how long airlines take to respond to your complaint on Twitter. Right, he says, it's disappeared. Oh, good. This is going really well. Lost luggage, misconnection, downgraded. Perhaps the fastest way to reach your airline is over social media. And I've certainly had this. In fact, it's not just airlines, is it? I think it's, TalkTalk, BT and all sorts. It seems to be the fastest way to get hold of them is through social media. Airlines often respond to passengers faster on social media, where customers air their travel troubles to their airline and the public than over the phone. Social media has exposed what goes on at airlines to millions of people, and image-conscious airlines are aware how quickly incidents can go viral. Think of the violent dragging of a United Airlines passenger off a flight last April, or Ann Coulter's feud with Delta Airlines over a seat assignment change. Most traveller comments, yes, sometimes customers are there to offer a compliment, are routine travel issues, delays, lost items or cancellations. The time it takes for airlines to respond varies, but some passengers get a response in less than 5 minutes, according to a new study by a Convert Social, which is a customer service consulting firm. JetBlue received the highest marks amongst the North American airlines for its response speeds, taking an average 4 minutes and 50 seconds to respond to passengers on Twitter. United came in last at 1 hour and 34 minutes, far lower than the average of around about 20 minutes. The airline had more social media mentions per hour than other North American airlines, the study said. We recognise that oftentimes social media is the only convenient way for customers to interact with us, and we are continuing to work hard on a daily basis to remove our response time, a spokeswoman said, adding that the airline plans to increase its social media staffing team by more than 150% by the end of March. Among European and Middle Eastern airlines, Finnair took the longest to respond to Twitter mentions, more than 5.5 hours, the study Hardy said the Helsinki-based airline wasn't immediately available for comment. Surprise, surprise. And Germany's Lufthansa had the fastest response time at 9 minutes and 15 seconds.
I think I can explain about the that airline that the comments just vanished into thin air.
Oh, my laptop's gone to sleep, so I can't press the button.
Okay, this is going very well. Anyway,
no.
what we was hoping there for was some kind of tumbleweed moment.
And we...
There we go. It's a bit delayed, but we got there in the end.
A bit delay. Wow. Okay, you're going to have to do better than that next week.
My laptop had fell asleep.
Did
I haven't used the soundboard.
Right, now it's
There we
going
go.
bananas. Right, okay. We do need a tumbleweed mode for
We do. I'll have to get a tumbleweed,
various
yeah.
jokes and things.
But going back to story, I think most people probably these days are on Twitter.
Yes.
And I've found in the past Twitter's a very good way of moaning to companies.
It is very much
They tend to
so.
respond to you fairly quick. But looking at that list, Nev, for that story, it's interesting to see that one of Brian Coleman's favourite airlines is one of the longest to answer on Twitter.
Yeah, the other thing is, of course, that everybody now has put their whole way of working onto social media, which is fine for the most part. But what about the people that are a bit elderly and they don't use that method of communication? So you're into the call center business and all the rest of it. And I think that social media can be very good and very damaging at the same time. And actually, we had a situation at work this week where I'm not going to go into any details, but we had some negative feedback, shall we say, from a customer that decided to go directly into social media. We've now solved that problem, but it gave us some big trouble for a couple of days. So I think that people, if they're going to use social media as the main platform for communicating with their customers to deal with complaints and what have you, they've got to respond accurately and quickly, haven't they?
I think the trouble is as well, and a lot of phone, when you ring up companies, you're on hold for 3 years and you're listening to the same lift music playing over and over again, and eventually you get through and you can't always kind of hear or understand who you're talking to. And I think most people nowadays, like I said, just find it easier because the Twitter accounts from the big companies are monitored 24/7. A lot of them are monitored 24/7. So if you do, I had to complain to a company a few weeks ago and used Twitter and got a very quick resolution within 10 minutes of complaining. So it is a good way of complaining to companies. But unfortunately for United Airlines people, you're gonna have wait over an hour.
Don't have been rushed.
So according to the list here, like we said, JetBlue is the class leader in complaints resolutions.
Is that
cool?
Is that a thing? Is it?
Class leader, yeah. So moving on swiftly to the next story then. And I've got an ad blocker here. It's typical, ad blocker on there. So
yes,
next story.
This is on the Australian Business Traveller website, and I have skillfully disabled the ad blocker for the time being. Let's see. Let's see how we get on. And it's all about the new business class section on the British Airways A350 aircraft. And British Airways is keeping its cards close to its chest on its next generation Club World business class seat, due to take wing in 2019 aboard the airline's new Airbus A350 jets. The airline has refused to confirm or deny reports that CEO Alex Cruz has nuked the rumour Club World Mark III design below. I don't know if Matt can show anything here at all, but based on a modernisation of the current decade-old seat, which will instead opt for an off-the-shelf product from leading seat maker Zodiac Aerospace. A spokesman for BA declined to comment to Australian Business Traveller on plans for the seat and offered up this press release copy and paste statement. We're investing £600 million specifically in Club World, including outstanding catering and luxurious white company bedding. plus from 2019 a new seat with direct aisle access. In mid-July 2017, BA was decidedly more forthcoming in swatting down suggestions that it would adopt an all-new design rather than just update and evolve the current Club World seat, with a spokeswoman telling Australian Business Traveller that nothing has changed. Plans are well advanced now and we haven't changed our tack order. BA's current Club World seat, launched a great fanfare at London's Canary Wharf in November 2006, is best known by business travellers for its high-density approach to maximising the number of passengers in the available space, as well as a relatively unique forward and backward-facing seating layout. The ensuing decade has seen competing airlines forging ahead with spacious business class seats, boasting privacy, direct aisle access, plus ample personal and storage space are now the norm. There's been no shortage of speculation over BA's 2019 Club World seat, fueled in part by the airline's series of patent applications over recent years. This includes the radical curvy sofa seat, which would see passengers adopt a forward-facing position for the taxi, takeoff and landing stages of the flight, but stretch out with an infill section of the sofa, creating a continuous surface between the seat and the ottoman to relax or to sleep. Now, I've got to say that the current BA business class layout in Club World is actually pretty good. Your one is forward facing and one is backwards facing. So if you're on the window area, you're normally facing backwards. And if you're on the aisle seat, you are facing forwards. Then there's this rather awkward screen between the two of you, basically. And when the screen is up, it's absolutely fine, no problem at all. But when the screen goes down, you are slightly closer to the person that you have never met before than you would feel comfortable. It's a bit like that personal space when you're meeting somebody for the first time. There is an acceptable space between you and the person you're speaking to. This is slightly too close. So it will be interesting to see whether they've solved that problem or not, because it is #awkward. That's for sure.
Yeah, the pictures Matt was just flashing up on the screen now. I mean, like you said, the dividing screen can be moved. I suppose if you're sitting next to someone that you know, it's not quite an issue. But obviously, if you want to sleep or anything like that, and you've got someone sort of there who's had a bit too much garlic or stronger food.
Right.
Oh yes. Yeah,
right.
Quite the point there. It might be a bit.
Say it like it is,
worrying.
Neve.
Yeah, yeah, but I think further down on this story, that does show the possible design of what these particular suites or business class seats will look like, and they look fairly comfortable, to be fair. But it'd be interesting to see what they eventually come up with as the idea for this. It does sound a story though, Nev, that they might mimic possibly the seats that are already in use by Emirates.
And BA a little bit behind the curve here as well. They need to improve things a little bit, because the Middle Eastern carriers are just so much better in these classes of seats, certainly.
Yeah. So moving on to the next story, and this one is on the BrisbaneTimes.com.au. So for our Australian listeners, and the headline is Emirates to end A380 services to Brisbane. The Airbus A380, the world's largest passenger aircraft, looks set to disappear from Brisbane skies later this year, with Emirates replacing its service with Boeing 777s from June. But the Dubai-based airline said the move, which would disappoint the city's band of plane watchers, might be only temporary. The A380 services between Brisbane, Dubai and Auckland were introduced with much fanfare in 2013, 6 years after the giant double-decker aircraft entered service into regular services. But an Emirates spokesperson confirmed the 489-seater A380 would be replaced with the smaller 354-seat Boeing 777 on the airline's Brisbane routes later this year. They said that Emirates can confirm that we will be deploying the 777-300ER on our flights EK434 and EK435 between Brisbane and Dubai from June until the end of August 2018, he said. Emirates remains committed to the market with 21 weekly flights, including a recently introduced third daily flight, which was added in December 2017. Fairfax Media understands the likelihood of other airlines flying regular A380 services in and out of Brisbane is negligible. While the A380s will no longer be seen over Brisbane, a familiar airline is set to make a long-awaited return. Malaysian Airlines will recommence services between Brisbane and Kuala Lumpur after a 3-year absence in June. The services were abruptly cancelled in 2015 following the MH370 and MH17 disasters. Malaysian Airlines flights in and out of Brisbane will recommence on June the 6th on Airbus A330 aircraft. So it's good news in that obviously there'll be something different for the aircraft spotters in Brisbane to see coming in and out of the airport. But I suppose for some of the aircraft spotters, it'll be a bit of a shame to lose the 380 from flying in that, because they are awesome to see, the Emirates ones. Because I've stood right underneath one of those as well at the Dubai Air Show. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So moving on to the next story. This story popped up on the news feed a few days ago, and I thought I think you'd enjoy this story, Matt. It's a bit of a crazy story.
Okay, right. Yeah. So this is on the Independent.
Don't forget to move over, will you, with this story? Move quickly.
No. I heard you.
Okay.
Yeah. On the independent.co.uk website, and the headline is "Mad Cow on Runway Causes Havoc." Mad Cow.
Okay.
And no, we're not talking about anybody's wives. On runway causes havoc at an Indian airport. 2 airplanes are forced to abort landing after a stray cow got onto the runway. Delays are a common enough occurrence affecting air travellers in Europe. However, travel delays took a new twist at an Indian airport on Thursday, the 11th of January, when a mad cow found its way onto the runway at Sardar something or other Patel Airport, International Airport, which serves the city of another way. Anyway, somewhere in Western India.
Ahmedabad.
Right, okay. As a result of the bovine intrusion, 2 planes were forced to abort landing, and while several more were delayed as authorities scrambled to contain the animal. Speaking to the Hindu Airport Authority of India, chairman Dr. Mohapatra said it was a stray cow that entered the cargo terminal side. The cow was quite mad and running around the operational area. I have asked the airport director to inquire into it and submit a report. The Hindu reports that the incident occurred around 3 a.m. local time, with Central Industrial Security Force guards and airport staff spending an hour and a half trying to contain the animal. With Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visiting India next week, security at airports has been ramped up following the incident. Cows are considered sacred for India's majority Hindu population and are known to roam free throughout the country. Despite this, incidents such as this one at this particular airport are very rare. In 2017, however, a SpiceJet aircraft suffered substantial damages after hitting a water buffalo which had wandered onto a runway in Surat.
It's safe to say it's not the greatest thing to hit, for definitely.
No.
But I thought that would get some response from the chat room.
Right, go on then, far away. Yeah.
Apparently, according to Captain Al, some years ago, a Pakistan International Airways 747 hit a cow on landing at Manchester.
Right.
Mariana has said they need some cowboys.
Oh, no.
Max Flight from the Airplane Geeks. Hello to you, Max. Hello. Welcome to. He's joined us. Well done.
Yeah.
Max has said, "What's a cow doing awake at 3 a.m.?"
Good point. They should all be sleeping.
Yes.
Yes, I agree. I agree completely.
And Jeff Braithwaite says, "I recall a 727 hitting a deer on takeoff."
Right.
I don't know where that one was, but no. But hello, greetings to you, Max. Wow.
Ah.
See, we've got more podcast royalty joining us in the chat
That's
room.
all very good, isn't it?
What do you think about this this story then? There, before we move on.
Oh, for goodness
Oh
sake.
yes. Well, I mean, I think the other thing is that certainly when I've been in Scandinavia quite a bit, there's always the risk of elk and moose and all sorts of things running onto runways and roads. And actually, a colleague of mine had a very nasty accident with his car because he ran into an elk on a Swedish road once. And yeah, these things do substantial amounts of damage. So you know they've got to be careful because they're not going to move out of the way.
No.
Oh, don't you start.
So anyway, moving swiftly on then, Nev, the next story.
This is on the anglotopia.net, the website for Anglophiles. And it's a British Airways story, and they're going to be investing more money in the catering for economy and world traveller. Frankly, they need to. Anyway, some good news for anyone that's had an interesting meal in coach whilst travelling with BA. They have announced that they are making a multi-million-pound investment in improving the food, meals and snacking available throughout your flight in economy, which they call World Traveller. It sounds like the food will match closer to what's offered to World Traveller Plus and above, which is great. New options will now include pretzels with the welcome drink, 4-course meal with starter, entree, dessert, cheese and biscuits, accompanied by a bread roll and bottle of water. I'm actually getting hungry as I'm reading
Oh,
this.
don't. I've had toast. That is all. Yeah.
Yes. Second meal or substantial snack, depending on the length of the flight. Regional meal options served according to destination. Magnum ice creams, that's probably a Captain Al favourite there. Tuck box with chocolates and crisps. Hot breakfast on longer overnight flights. Gray's movie snack box on longer flights, and complimentary drinks from the bar. British Airways says that previously customers travelling in the cabin were served a complimentary snack, a 3-course meal or a light meal, depending on the time and length of their flight, as well as a complimentary bar service of hot and cold drinks. The new catering arrives from January the 17th, and the menus that will change every 6 months. Carolina Martinoli, British Airways Director of Brand and Customer Experience, says our customers tell us that when they're taking a long-haul flight, great food and beverages make a real difference to them. It's a huge driver of customer satisfaction, so we want to make sure that we deliver a great experience. With this multi-million-pound investment, we've focused on introducing more quantity and quality to the catering, delivering tasty meals and great snacking options throughout the flight. Our new 4-course main meal has been developed by our team of chefs to be full of flavour at 35,000 feet, and we've created regional options depending on the route. The second meal option is either a tasty sandwich or a more substantial pizza wrap, both served with additional snacks depending on the length of the flight. Our customers have told us that they want to be able to save some items for later in the flight, so we've replaced the water cup with a bottle of water on the first meal and added Gray's snack boxes on our longest flight. We're also offering Magnum ice creams on daylight flights from London, and a tuck box and inbound on and overnight flights. It does go on a little bit, but I think that what they're making a huge investment in the in this area for the long haul stuff, but they still need to sort out this short haul Marks and Spencer, pay as you go kind of food business, because that is still not good at all. And they do actually say here that they're investing £4.5 billion over the next 5 years, covering the installation of best quality Wi-Fi and power in every seat, and they're fitting 128 long-haul aircraft with new interiors and taking delivery of 72 new aircraft. So the airline is investing £600 million specifically in Club World, including outstanding catering and luxurious white company bedding, plus from 2019 a new seat with direct aisle access. So it's good to see they're making some investments there, and of course they're hanging on to their 747s for much longer now, so they're going to be with them until 2024, so that's good. But of course they're all looking a bit tired on the interiors now, so they're having a big refurbishment, certainly in the Club World section, so that's a good thing.
It's good if they're investing in money in revamping the interiors, like you say, Nev. At least looks like they'll be keeping their Queen of the Skies for a little bit longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. So moving on to the next story, and this one is on Flight Global's website, awesome website, flightglobal.com, and the headline, Aeromexico 737 nearly lands on wrong San Francisco runway. So obviously we've been seeing stories throughout 2017 of incidents where aircraft have been, well, nearly landing on the wrong runway. So pilots of an Aeromexico Boeing 737-800 lined up to land on the wrong runway at San Francisco International Airport on the 9th of January before executing a go-around procedure, the third safety-related incident at San Francisco in about 6 months. A Virgin America Airbus A320 aircraft was on runway 28 left, awaiting takeoff at the time of the incident, the Federal Aviation Administration confirms. Air traffic controllers cleared Aeromexico Flight 668 from Mexico City to land on San Francisco's runway 28 right, and the pilot of the aircraft acknowledged the instruction according to the FAA, which is investigating. When the plane was about a mile from the airport, air traffic controllers noticed the aircraft was lined up from runway 28 left and instructed the crew to execute a missed approach, says the FAA. The incident happened at around 11:45 a.m. on the 9th of January, it adds. Neither Aeromexico nor Virgin America responded immediately to requests for comment. On the 7th of July 2017, an Air Canada A320 operating a flight from Toronto nearly landed on a taxiway at San Francisco. That aircraft ascended to 59 feet above the taxiway, which was occupied by 4 aircraft, the NTSB said. Then on October the 24th, 2017, another Air Canada A320 failed to heed go-around orders from air traffic controllers prior to landing at San Francisco. Controllers tried to hail the aircraft multiple times and used a light gun to wave off the aircraft, but the Air Canada pilots continued the approach and landed safely on runway 28 right, the FAA has said. So another incident, Nev. This seems to be happening quite a lot at San Francisco, but then they do have those parallel runways.
I think, yes, you've got to be extra vigilant, haven't you, from ATC's point of view and from the pilot's point of view, to make sure that you are lined up on the right runway. And, of course, if you're just doing a visual approach and the weather's great, then it's probably not much of a problem. But they are very close together.
Yeah.
So there's just not much room for error at all. And it'd be very easy to misidentify that if you tuned in the wrong ILS or something like that. So, just got to be very careful.
Bit more careful.
Yes, yeah.
So moving on then to the next story, if you're ready.
Yes,
Matt?
indeed. Yes. So the next story is on the KHQ.
Another fun story for you.
Here we go. Right. On the KHQ Q6. Whatever that is, anyway. So KHQ is a website.
Just don't pussyfoot around with this story, Matt, please.
Really? Airport. Stowing cat in checked luggage. Not recommended way to travel. So a 6-month-old female kitten named Slim was spotted curled up among the clothing inside a checked bag. According to the Erie Times News, 21-year-old Olivia Sari and 21-year-old Nicholas Larison were flying from Erie, Pennsylvania to Tampa, Florida on New Year's Day when TSA officials were alerted to something peculiar packed in their luggage. It turned out to be their pet. This wasn't packed in the bag. Let's try that again. What wasn't packed in the bag was air, water, and food for poor Slim. The couple faces animal cruelty charges and possible fines in Pennsylvania. The Times News reports they also had to fly back to Florida without their cat, which the airport had confiscated. Oh dear. While this could have been an extremely dangerous situation for the cat, Slim is just fine and is currently under the care of the Humane Society, TSA spokesman Mike England wrote on Twitter. Airport officials told the Erie Times the Erie Times News that they'd never seen anything like this before. 28 years I've been here. I've seen some unique things. I've been involved in plenty of unique things. This is the first, said Ian Boyle, the airport's director of public safety and facilities. it's very bizarre. Is what it is. I'll just see if I can get that to come up.
To come up on the screen.
But,
it's
yeah.
I mean, I can definitely say without any question that Poppy would not enjoy this particular experience. I mean, she hates, leaving the house to go outside, and humans. Yeah,
absolutely.
But I mean. Could you class it as one of those? What they call them again? The pet. What they call them, Nev?
You mean the comfort
comfort pets?
Yeah. What's the word?
The name of it now.
The phrase they use. I'm sure someone in the chat room reminded.
Yeah, someone in the chat room remind us. They'll know.
But yes.
Oh, it's like the pets that accompany you on flight to make you feel better. Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to take Poppy on a flight with me. I think it'd be fantastic. I mean, Nev, obviously you have feline company as well.
I think Tom would be okay with it, but Bunty, our younger cat, wouldn't have any of that at all. But Tom's quite happy with any sort of company in any kind of environment, really. But so interesting.
Indeed.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's Liz has obviously chirped up in the chat room because she's such an awesome person, Liz, and also Jenny as well. They're emotional support animals.
That's
right. Okay.
There we go.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I need loads of emotional support with with Poppy there. She's a great help. Yeah.
Indeed, yes.
But no, that was. I'm not going to say what Captain Al's put in the chat room, but
really?
For those of you in the YouTube chat room, you can all see the
Actually,
comments there from
I had to moderate that comment from Captain Al, but I obviously pressed the wrong button, unfortunately. So, there you go.
Anyway, moving swiftly on.
Yes. This is from Flight Global and another ding on the ground, I'm afraid, and it's an Atlas 747 involved with a wing clipping incident with a Miami Air 737 at Baltimore. And at the right wingtip of an Atlas Air passenger Boeing 747-400 hit the horizontal stabilizer of a Miami Air International 737-800 at Baltimore Washington International on 7th of January. The FAA confirms the collision, which it said occurred at about 22:15 local time as the Atlas aircraft was taxiing for departure. The FAA, which is still investigating, says that Miami Air 737 was parked at the time that it was hit. It appears that the winglet of the 747 made contact with another aircraft. All passengers and crew on both aircraft are safe and without injury, Atlas says in a statement to Flight Global. We're continuing our investigation and cooperating with the FAA. Atlas does not identify the exact aircraft, but Flight Radar 24 shows that 747-400 registration November 465 Mike Charlie was in Baltimore on the 7th of January. Charter carrier Miami Air International did not respond to an inquiry from Flight Global. The carrier operates 737-800s, and two of those aircraft, November 732 Mike Alpha and November 750 Mike Alpha, were in Baltimore around the 7th of January. Atlas Air is a subsidiary of charter and cargo carrier Atlas Air Worldwide Holdings, based in Purchase, New York. So, another one of those incidents there, and easily done. If you're going to have an accident, it's probably going to be on the ground rather than in the air, because these things just can happen.
There was one actually. I think Nev, there was one a week ago, wasn't there, where they had a clip wing, and one of the aircraft had a little bit of a fire incident. I think that was on the news as well.
Yes, that's right.
But I mean, airports are busy places, incredibly busy places on the ground.
I'm surprised. I'll tell you where there's. I don't know if you've ever seen the apron at London City Airport. How tight it is there. When you land, you come off the runway and you go via one of the taxiways, and then you actually go nose in as you would do in the normal parking spot, and then you do almost a complete 180 degree, and there's three people marshalling you so that you are then facing out again, so you don't need a tug to push you back. And it is really tight there. I mean, most of the aircraft obviously are Embraers and Airbus A318s and that kind of size, but it is really tight sometimes, and certainly the wingtip clearance is very tight indeed, especially in the rush hour. There, I've been on a couple of flights where I'm thinking, are we going to make this exactly, because it's really tight. But the guys do a good job there, so there's obviously a lot of safety there. But yeah, people have got to be vigilant on the apron when taxiing and pushing, certainly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because ground radar is quite a big thing. I mean, most of the big airports have ground radar and stuff, so the controllers can keep an eye on where aircraft are. But perhaps they need to invent a TCAS system for ground based aircraft, Nev.
Yes, I mean, the trouble is, it is obviously the speeds are very low, and obviously the mass of the aircraft is so great. And I think the other thing about aircraft generally is that there's some very weird optical illusions sometimes when you think you probably can get through a space or where you can't. And I've heard things on ATC before, and the captain's going, "Oh, I don't think we can make it through there," and the ATC guys going, "Yeah, plenty of room." Well, actually, at the end of the day, it's the captain's responsibility not to ding the aircraft. So better to be safe than sorry. But I'm sure there's lots of ground incidents of this sort of thing that does go on.
Yeah, Richard King's come up with quite a good idea, I think, Nev, in the chat room. Parking sensors on the wings.
Oh, there you are. Yeah,
there we go.
Perfect.
Remember, you heard it here first. Obviously, Richard King can take the full
he ought to patent that idea a bit quickly
patent
as well, before anybody else gets on.
Yeah, parking sensors on the wings. There we go. We'll be seeing stories about that probably in in the next few years.
We will do. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is where we're going to bring the commercial news segment to a close. We've got some a little splattering of military news coming up later. Some very interesting stories indeed. Just for a change, for Mr. Warner, I expect Mr. Warner's listening to this. I actually spoke to Jonathan Warner yesterday on the phone, and Mr. Warner was in his van working, and he was actually out at up at RAF Fairford Way.
Oh, right,
and the day before yesterday on an evening, and caught some B-52s.
Oh, he did, yes,
flying over.
Actually,
and sent me a little video, a quick little snippet there video, which was pretty. It's all a bit dark. You can only see the lights and stuff. But no, awesome. And he thoroughly enjoyed his evening there.
I bet.
And he was supposed to be working at the time. But
right. Fair enough.
But he did. Mr. Warner actually did say that he does listen to the show pretty much all the time he's in his van travelling around.
Oh, does he? Oh,
yeah.
So he knows that every time Al's on, the military gets dropped immediately then. Right.
But no, we have got some of that coming up later, and we've also got a segment coming up very soon, or actually next, haven't we, Matt? From listener Barbara, who sent us some audio in. So
indeed,
I think we should play that.
Yeah,
now,
indeed. There's a little bit of stuff that we'll read out at the end, but let's have a listen to Barbara's feedback now.
Hello to the Plain Talking team, to Carlos, Matt, Nev and Owen and everyone. This is Barbara. Last year I decided to fulfill a lifelong dream and book myself onto a brilliant 2-day cabin crew course. One of the aims of the course was to give you more of an insight into the role of cabin crew. The first training day was held at the British Airways. Hello to the Plain Talking team, to Carlos, Matt, Nev and Owen and everyone. This is Barbara. Last year I decided to fulfill a lifelong dream and book myself onto a brilliant 2-day cabin crew course. One of the aims of the course was to give you more of an insight into the role of cabin crew. The first training day was held at the British Airways Cabin Crew and Pilot Training Centre, called the Global Learning Academy, based at Heathrow Airport, London. And there we could use their cabin crew training facilities. And I have to say, it was one of the best weekends of my life. So interesting and such a privilege to be there, and I would love to share some of that day with you. And at a later date, I will do a part 2 of my feedback on what happened on day 2 of the course. Firstly, my fantastic experience was thanks to a lovely lady called Kim Osborne, and her wonderful cabin crew trainers. Kim's long career is cabin crew, and it's a career she loves. She started with British Caledonian Airways, and yes, I too remember those beautiful tartan-clad air hostesses. And then she moved to British Airways, which she loved. Eager to share her passion and to see others flourish in the same career, she set up the cabin crew course, which is now called Cabin Crew Global. So, here's what happened on day one of my cabin crew course at the British Airways Training School. The bus journey to Vanguard House was, in the morning, fantastic. As the bus wound through Heathrow, it was just so exciting seeing the British Airways fleet, Boeing 747s, 787s, Airbuses, all parked up. And on the bus I met a fellow trainee called Dan, who was just as enthusiastic about aeroplanes as I. We all met at Vanguard House, Heathrow, with 2 strict instructions for arrival. Do not be late. Cabin crew are never late. And bring your passport. Cabin crew must always have their passports. We were welcomed by our cabin crew trainers, who were so engaging and so funny. And our lead trainer, Suzanne, had 36 years of cabin crew experience and was a British Airways Concorde air stewardess. And she had flown on and had knowledge of so many aircraft types at British Airways, and I knew this was going to be an awesome day. We had a 15-minute classroom talk by Suzanne with illustrations of the British Airways aircraft fleet, and she told us how important it is as potential future cabin crew to know what fleet your chosen airline owns and uses. Many individual cabin crew have to fly on multiple different aircraft and have to know in detail each aircraft type and configuration. For instance, you may have to crew a Boeing 747 one day, an Airbus A380 another, and an A320. Now we know that pilots are tested every 6 months, but all cabin crew, before every flight they work on, have to be tested on the safety features of the particular aircraft they will fly on. Imagine being tested every time you come to work. And I was told that if you fail a question for the second time before your flight, you cannot fly and have to be referred to your manager for retraining. So armed with our ID badges, 20 trainees and 3 trainers, we set off for the inner sanctum of British Airways Global Learning Academy, a world very few people ever get to see. And it is huge, with many large training rooms, a canteen, a very large canteen, and interconnecting glass corridors with Airbus A380s standing outside. Most of my spare time was exclaiming, "Look, Dan, look at that! Look over there! Look at that, Dan!" I think many of my fellow trainees thought I was mad, but by the end of the 2 days, I had given most of them the plane spotting bug. It was very funny to see. First, we arrived outside the British Airways flight simulator room, and we were allowed a sneaky peek at the simulators. About 15 in total at the time, and apparently the greatest number of simulators in any airline in the world, including the 787 Dreamliner sim. Many of the crews, both pilots and cabin crew, all in uniform, were on their 6 monthly or yearly assessments, so we were told not to disturb what was going on around us. Throughout the day, we saw pilots putting on life jackets and often heard shouts of "brace, brace, brace" by cabin crew. We were taken to a mock flight deck with pilot dummies, and we had to go through what to do if a pilot was incapacitated and administer first aid. Although this is not necessarily an emergency situation, it may require a diversion. But the pilot still has to implement NITS. NITS, N-I-T-S. Yes, you heard it right, NITS, which stands for Nature, Intention, Time, Special Instruction. So, what is the nature of the problem? What are the pilot's intention? How much time do we have? And any special instructions for the cabin crew? We then had to slide down an A320 evacuation slide, which was half the size of the 747 slide next to it. And what I learned is those slides are fast. Next was survival at sea after a crash landing on water or sea. We learned how to put on and secure a life jacket, how to evacuate passengers and crew onto the Boeing 747 life raft, and how to detach and deploy the evacuation slides which turn into the life rafts. And I found this particularly interesting and challenging. It was difficult getting 23 people onto the raft, let alone 50 to 70 people, and placing the canopy over the top to protect from the elements. The cabin crew need to act fast and get people onto the rafts, as there is the risk of fire, sharp debris and aircraft sinking. We were shown the survival kits and how to work the transmitter, which transmits for 48 hours to give your location, but rescue may be longer. We were taught PLWF, which stands for Protection, Location, Water, Food. All the things you need for survival in hostile environments. And at sea, as cabin crew, you may be carrying out first aid, dealing with body fluid, and keeping morale up. Next, we were taken to a Boeing 777 mock-up cabin economy class, where we role-played as passengers, as the trainers went through how to prepare the passengers and cabin for a planned emergency landing due to hydraulics failure. The cabin even had a galley and the sound effects of the engines. Again, what I learned is just how much detailed procedures the cabin crew have to know and prepare for. Trust me, passengers may get away with not paying attention to the pre-flight safety demo, but you won't get away with it if there's an emergency landing. The trainer said, as cabin crew, you will make the passengers listen. So be warned, passengers. The last 3 exercises we had to do was the pre-flight safety demonstration, enter a smoke-filled chamber with smoke hoods working as a team, and finally putting out a fire in the galley. If a fire starts on board an aircraft, cabin crew have 3 minutes to put it out. Otherwise, it may then be out of control and too big to fight. Throughout that day, we didn't have time to touch on security issues such as passenger aggression, hijacking and terrorism, or passenger service with a smile, knowing your wines, delivering a baby, dealing with language problems, supervising a child travelling alone, comforting grieving passengers, and heating the meals, to mention just a few. This cabin crew course gave me a newfound respect for all cabin crew, and the sheer amount of knowledge and skill they need to do their job, particularly in an emergency. For many years, flight attendants or cabin crew have often been dismissed as just trolley dollies, but this role is unique in that you have to deal with all matters yourself. You can't phone the fire service or an ambulance or the police at 30,000 feet, or even air sea rescue. This is a truly unique job. I was told that cabin crew have a saying: we hope you never have to find out most of what we are trained to know and do. And that is the point. But when things go wrong, all passengers look to the cabin crew. So they have to know what they are doing, as well as being the last off a burning aircraft. And I don't believe there are many other jobs that require you to wear so many different hats. This course with Cabin Crew Global is perfect for those people who... I just want to add that I told Kim that I wanted to tell the aviation podcast community about the fantastic cabin crew course. And she said if anyone is interested in doing the 2-day cabin crew course with Cabin Crew Global, Kim is very happy to offer to any of our podcast followers a 10% discount. So thank you, Kim, and thank you, Carlos, and the Plane Talking UK.
I don't really know what went on there. Sorry, we had got a few gremlins in the studio this afternoon, as you've probably noticed if you're watching. Yeah, I don't. Sorry about that, Barbara. You've been cut off in your prime, it seems. But we were very close to the end there, so I don't know quite what happened. But yeah, she was talking about her experience at the at this crew day, and yeah, as I say, very kindly offered a 10% discount if any of our listeners would like to sort of come along and have a go. Which is,
I think it's one of those
great,
of those jobs that I always, when I was at school, always thought about doing for some reason. I don't know. I never want to be a pilot all of a sudden straight away, but cabin crew was always one of those things. Well, I'd like to have a go at that.
Absolutely, yeah.
But obviously, I prefer to fly the aircraft.
Well, yes, obviously that goes without saying.
Yeah.
That does go without saying.
yeah. Which hopefully we'll all be doing next week.
Well, that
so
is
exciting.
true.
I
Yes,
know.
absolutely. Yeah. It is. It's going to be a bit mad. It's actually while we're just going to mention, while we're talking briefly about the 200th, we are going to do the 200th show live from where we are. So we are going to do a live outside broadcast.
Yeah.
As many of you know, we've got lots and lots of very special guests who are all coming, and it's just going to be it's going to be brilliant. And I've set up a very special hashtag if you're a Twitter user, so that you can interact with the show live whilst we're doing it live, because I can now, if you are watching on the YouTube, you should see something very special about to appear on screen, and that is that I send
That's rather posh.
It is rather posh, isn't it? Absolutely. So I don't think in a million years we're ever going to get anything trending, but we're going to use the hashtag PTUK200. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. I can't wait. I mean, actually, there's one very sad one here that I'm just going to put up because our lovely people in the chat room have been helping me test it whilst the Barbara's feedback was playing. And this one, which I'm very sad about, obviously, is of course this one. Because obviously the legend that is Captain Al won't be there.
No.
Although on the plus side, both him and Jenny have decided they're going to have a little party in our honour. They're going to have the Me Too Al. We need to have a missing PT UK pity party. That's what
Pity
they
party.
A pity party. Yes. Yeah. So careful how you say that.
Oh,
in a
lovely
hurry.
Jen.
Yeah, absolutely. But
I like that.
yeah, very sad, isn't it? It's a shame, really, and we're sorry that not everyone can come. But I suppose it's. I think it's going to be so much fun. I know, and then of course we'll stop talking about it because I'm sure everybody's sick of us.
Everyone's
talking
sick of it. Yeah, I know.
But,
everyone's sick of the idea.
But of course, the bag has been the cat has literally been a little bit let out of the bag. Really, I believe after a certain show that went out. Was it yesterday, Nev? I think you were saying.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a few mentions on the APG show yesterday, but no, it's all good. We'll talk a bit more about the 200th before the close of the show today.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Won't we?
So we are going to move on then with the show, and we have three nicely interesting military stories to play. So if everyone is ready, we'll do some military news. Matt, you ready?
Yeah, why not? Let's give it a go. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Nev, are you fit and ready to go?
Yes, I am. Yes.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I should just explain the reason why we're struggling a little bit is because Matt's touchscreen has gone wrong on his computer this week, and so he's having to do it mostly with his mobile phone and a mouse. And I just
you can't really see there on the screen, but normally Matt's got a touch screen that he uses to move between segments, and that touch screen is not.
Has
touching
died.
It's died. The screen's fine.
Yes.
You can see everything on the screen, but the actual touch part of the screen has died.
Yes. So hopefully we might be able to get that sorted before next week. Not that it's a big show or anything next week.
I'm going to have to
absolutely.
see what we can do. Anyway, first news story on the military news this week, and this one is on the swindonadvertiser.co.uk. And special news story, especially for Jonathan Warner, because he's a big fan of all the big RAF bases around the UK. But this one, RAF aims to cut risk of aircraft collisions around Brize Norton by expanding controlled airspace. Now, for those of you guys who may not know, Brize Norton is quite a large base here in the UK. Where a lot of the refuelling aircraft are based in and out of, and there's also quite a large amount of C-17s there and Air Hercules as well. So the controlled airspace around Brize Norton is set to change after 4 decades because it's no longer fit for purpose, according to RAF chiefs. Pilots have had to take evasive action to avoid civilian traffic on the approach to the airfield in a year. 40 incidents this year in total that have led to flight safety reports being filed. In one incident last year, a C-17 transport aircraft climbed out below a glider. A major construction or major consultation, I should say, is underway with local authorities and residents in areas covered by the zone, including parts of Wiltshire. The base, which is 7 miles from Lechlade, is the largest in the RAF and is home to strategic and tactical air transport squadrons, air-to-air refuelling units, and others, including a tactical medical wing. Station Commander, Group Captain Tim Jones, said the existing design was not right for the current arrivals and departures. Aircraft regularly leave and protected confines of CAS, which can bring them into conflict with other aircraft operating autonomously outside in open airspace. Additionally, Brize Norton has no connectivity to the UK Airways network, meaning aircraft have to transit through uncontrolled airspace when flying to and from the UK Airways network. The situation has been exacerbated since the closure of RAF Lyneham in 2012. The proposal is to increase the size of the controlled airspace in a bid to reduce the risk of mid-air collisions within 20 nautical miles of the base. At the moment, aircraft lining up for their final approaches have to cross open airspace, which is has the potential to bring them into conflict with unknown traffic. Most aircraft leaving Brize Norton are sent on a route close to South Cerney Airfield and Cotswold Airport, which are often busy with light aircraft. Since 2012, air traffic controllers at the base have logged many instances where military aircraft have had to change course to avoid unknown traffic and maintain a safe distance from it. So the consultation document is available from RAF Brize Norton's website at raf.mod.uk/RAF Brize Norton /flying info. So those of you guys and girls living close to Brize Norton can get the proposal plans in front of you there so you can see what they're going to do. But obviously it is a really, really busy...
I think one of our listeners, Mark Harvey, he lives down that way, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's... I mean, they are, like it said, the story does say, there are a lot of GA airfields around there flying light aircraft. And obviously, most GA aircraft don't have ADS-B out or the transponders that allow other aircraft to know where they are. It's all visual, VFR, flight visual flight rules.
They'll tidy that up then.
Yeah.
Next story. This is on flightglobal.com, and the headline is British Army poised to retire the last Lynx. So British Army operations with the Augusta Westland Lynx are poised to come to an end, with the Joint Helicopter Command to host a farewell event for the utility type on the 16th of January, based at the Royal Air Force's Odium. Is it Odiham? Odiham? Odium. Sorry, my apologies. Yes. Site in Hampshire. The Army Air Corps 657 Squadron is the last UK unit to employ the Lynx. The type was first fielded in its AH-1 standard in August 1978 and subsequently involved in operations by the service in nations including Afghanistan, Bosnia, Iraq and Sierra Leone. The Army's last upgraded and skid-equipped Lynx AH-7s were retired in July 2015, leaving its extensively modernised AH-9As to serve on whilst its replacement Leonardo helicopters AW159 Wildcat inventory was increased in size. Flight Fleet's analyzer records 22 of the new generation type as being in active service with the AAC, with another 4 in storage. The Royal Navy also uses the type and ended operations with its legacy Lynx HMA-8 airframes in March 2017. Following the disbandment last year of the AAC's 9 Regiment at Dishdorf in North Yorkshire, 657 Squadron retained up to 12 AH-9As from an original complement of 22 upgraded examples. After its Rolls-Royce GEM-engined Lynx AH-7s performed poorly in the hot and high operating conditions of Afghanistan towards the end of the last decade, the UK Military of Defence initiated an urgent operational requirement to re-engine and extensively update the Army's wheeled AH-9 variant. A contract worth approximately £130 million, that's $175 million, was signed in late 2008, covering an initial 10 airframes. It's the first. My machine is playing up. I'm very sorry, but anyway, you get the gist. It is sort of sad news, really, that it's coming out. But it is 1978 when it first went into service, so it really has worked. You know, it's been incredibly a workhorse of both the Army and the Navy, to be fair.
Yeah, many years ago when I was considerably younger than I am now.
Yeah.
My uncle's was in the Royal Navy, and got the chance to look on board one of these, the Royal Navy versions. It's a helicopter, such a fantastic bit of kit, and it's proven again to be a real workhorse for not just the Royal Navy but the British Army as well. Indeed. And also the German Navy as well. They have used these, but they've as of 2009 there was 450 of these built.
Wow.
Awesome bit of kit.
Very
so,
good. Yeah.
So, Nev, next one.
Yeah, this is the last military story for today, and it's on the Flight Global website, and it says that France awards Airbus deal to develop naval drone technology. Airbus Helicopters and its partner Naval Group have been contracted by France's DGA Defence Procurement Agency to develop technologies for a projected rotary unmanned air vehicle, RUAV, to operate from warships. The agreement covers de-risking studies before a demonstrator RUAV will be built and tested aboard a French Navy vessels, the manufacturer says. The contract is designed to identify, deploy and test the technologies necessary for the integration of a technical drone system capacity within a heavily armed vessel. Entry into service for the planned Navy Airborne Drone System, SDAM, is projected to be around the middle of the next decade, but Airbus Helicopters says technical risks have yet to be determined for initiating and realising the programme. Airbus plans to conduct its first flight of its under development VSR 700 RUAV this year, and the 700-kilogram rotorcraft is derived from HGC's G2 light civilian helicopter. Flight tests begin with an unmanned Cabri G2 prototype in 2017 to validate flight control system integration and the aircraft's engine system. Naval Group and Airbus Helicopters are set to jointly manage the project, which will also involve Thales, Safran and French Aerospace Centre UNRWA. Honora, I think it's pronounced. Airbus Helicopters Chief Executive Guillaume Faury says the VSR 700 is expected to play a crucial role in the aero maritime operation theatres of tomorrow. So it's quite interesting. We're seeing this drone technology being used all over the shop, aren't we? And I think this is only going to go in one direction. There'll just be more and more of it. There'll be more and more capability, I would think.
Yeah, I know. I mean, part of me sort of feels like, I mean, wars are going to be very different. If we ever have a world war again, things are going to be very different, aren't they? Now,
safer, I think, in some respects, because you're not sending.
I'm not sure the word "safe"
out.
and "war" can necessarily
not
put together in the same sentence. To be fair, but it's a funny one, really. I mean, obviously it makes sense if you can sort of remotely pilot all these things, but. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should just not have wars. There's a controversial.
Very good.
There's a controversial thought.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. So that was the last military news story for this week, and we've got a very special segment that was actually sent in by
actually before Christmas,
Pip.
But for some reason it went stray.
It went
first
awry
in the first
and
thing.
It's actually a really good little video as well.
It is,
and I've watched this quite a few times. But it's a video that Pip has taken on board on one of the aircraft that he actually flies.
Yes,
so,
and of course, if you did listen to our sort of offline show, and I replayed where he was saying goodbye to his beloved. What was the
Hawker?
The Hawker. He was saying goodbye to his beloved Hawker. So here is now. Normally we wouldn't say this, but this is a video segment that he sent us. So it is really.
It's only a short one, but it's really good.
It's really good. It's only just under 2 minutes, but it gives you a very quick tour of the cockpit of his new beast.
Plane safety from the flight deck with pilot Pip.
Hi everyone, this is a very quick video tour of the Embraer Phenom 300 cockpit. Looking at the right hand primary flight display there, split in two. There's the centre screen. There's 3 screens, each of which can be split in two, so effectively 6 screens. And it's all controlled with these little Garmin touch controllers, which is essentially just like a little mini iPad, and you can control everything through there. You can see the main menu there. It's got map settings, radar settings, traffic settings, all the performance settings, the weight, the fuel. We're looking at some GPS information pages there, and there's 2 of those, and you can use those 2 to control all 3 screens and split them in half to make 6 screens. That was the centre screen with all the hydraulics, electrics, flaps, gear, trim. Left screen there with a chart displayed on the left hand side. Moving down to the central panel here with the throttles on the left, the flaps, a little dinky button in the middle was the speed brake. Mold control panel up here is fairly standard, controls all the autopilot settings. Have a look back down here. He's one of my colleagues here putting in some nav frequencies. This is very easy to use, very intuitive. You can scroll up and down just like an iPad here. Really good piece of equipment. Takes a bit of getting used to, but there's so much information it can display. Really is very clever indeed. And moving across, we can see that screen can also show a vertical display of the flight plan. Well, that's it. Very quick segment. See you again next time.
Find this and other great shows at the Aviation Media Network.
TheVoicesInYourHead.com.
The Plane Talking UK podcast is a voluntary project that aims to keep you informed with the latest aviation-related stories from news wires across the globe.
Producing our content does cost money though. If you enjoy our show, why not help us keep on the air by making a donation towards the server and website hosting fees through PayPal. Any contributions would be greatly appreciated.
Are you an Amazon user? If so, why not do your shopping through the link on our website? There's no cost to yourself, and Amazon pay us a small referral fee on qualifying purchases.
To find out more about the show and to meet the team, take yourself to our website www.planetalkinguk.com,
or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/planetalkinguk, on Twitter via @planetalkinguk, or get in touch via email on podcast@planetalkinguk.com. Thanks for listening.
Flybe 5823 Trent Dane for 23 Manchester. Wizz Air 6X
Climb flight level 210, direct to Bretlands Park. United 123, maintain 280 knots. London 2DME, turn right onto Bravo, link. 21 join Alpha, hold at Mora. Speedbird 472, LOC/DME, approach runway 27 left. Follow the green stand 544.
That's enough air traffic control for today, Nat. Bedtime.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to fly a commercial passenger jet? Looked up at the sky and thought, I wish that was me? Well, now anyone has the chance to have a go at flying in a real aircraft simulator. NP Simulations and Flight Experience London, the only official Boeing licensed product of its kind in the UK, offer you the chance to fly anywhere in the world in their fixed-base Boeing 737-800 flight simulator. And that's not all. Ground School London offers many different courses for the up-and-coming pilot looking for a start in aviation. With prices starting at just £109, the sky's the limit. So for the ultimate flight simulator experience, or engaging preparatory courses, including those for schools and colleges, check out the websites at www.london.flightexperience.co.uk and www.groundsschoollondon.com, or call on 020 300 40 616. NP Simulations. Fly your dreams.
Wow, we're going to be there soon.
I know.
Yes.
Anyway, oh dear, what? We definitely, I think we've come at the conclusion that that we definitely need to arrange a new touchscreen because.
Oh, right. Yeah. Matt's got lots of editing to do this week.
Lots of editing to do this week because of
because he's got no touchscreen.
No touchscreen.
It's amazing. It's funny, isn't it? You get used to doing it a certain way, and then when something goes horrible, when you lose that method. Honestly, during the show, the amount of times I've gone to hit this screen.
Yeah.
Anyway, by the by.
So that was an awesome little bit of video there from Pip. So thanks for sending that in. Thoroughly enjoy. I could actually, Pip, if you can do one about an hour long next time, that'd be quite nice.
Yeah, I think it had to be brief because obviously he was quite busy at the time. Learning.
I think his captain was going, "What on earth are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? What is going on here?" Indeed. So thanks as always, Pip, for your great segments. Hopefully, we can enjoy a few more in 2018 this year.
Yeah. So on the last bit of the show here, then we're just obviously going to just quickly run over next week's
very kind.
Bits and
what did
pieces.
They do?
But Nev, you said you might have, or there might be something exciting as well as the 200th happening next weekend, happening on that day as well, an announcement of some description.
Very much so. I've been talking to the guys at NP Simulations this week, and they are moving forward very nicely for 2018. There's lots of stuff going on. They are expecting to receive their A320 simulator at some point to complement the 737-800 that's already there, so that will be quite interesting. But even more interesting, they're going to make a very big announcement at the 200th show next week, and we can't say too much about it at the moment, but it is worth tuning in for, believe me, because this is going to shape how the rest of their business works, and I think it will be very interesting, particularly for PT UK listeners and anybody else that has an interest in flying of some sort. So there's going to be a really big announcement next week that Paul, Nick and Joe are going to make, and that will be great. And I think we're going to be doing a lot more collaboration with these guys over the next year as well. So I think we'll be talking to them quite a lot. So definitely stay tuned for some really special news next weekend.
Indeed.
Wow.
So of course it is the big 200th show next weekend. So we're all going to be down in London, along with lots of invited special guests. What looks to be a pretty full complement of APG hosts are all going to be joining us live at the Simulator Centre. It's going to be a very, very exciting week, and I know we keep going on about it, guys, but
it's a
you're
biggie
probably,
for us.
as somebody sort of alluded earlier, it was one or two people are feeling a bit like Pip did when he couldn't make it to Pittsburgh. But
Pittsburgh.
It is.
Yeah.
It's going to be a wonderful show for us. As you know, we don't do things like this very often. In fact, we've never done anything like this before. So it's going to be very exciting. And so looking forward to having a meet up with some of our amazing listeners. I can't believe how far so many of them are travelling.
I know.
To come and
it
see us.
It is crazy.
It's just
some of the
Mother's already started on the buffet.
Actually, that could be the highlight of the entire event.
It could well be.
I'm concerned,
absolutely.
I'm looking forward to that very much.
Yeah, absolutely. And what with that and a meal afterwards, going out to a nice little restaurant.
Oh, wow.
It's just going to be a very. I mean, I don't think I've ever spent 3 days in London, so it's going to be quite nice to actually spend 3 days.
I know.
Just to let you know that we've obviously we're trying to get so many people through the whole thing during an afternoon, so that's quite difficult to get 30 people through a simulator. So what Paul and I have done, Paul was the instructor down there, and we have devised a route effectively which goes from LaGuardia to JFK, and that takes about 10 minutes, gives you a takeoff and landing, and gives you all the experiences that you would expect in a simulator. It's a short flight, so it's about 10 minutes long, but we need to do that just to get the number of people through. But I think it will whet people's appetite for wanting to come back and spend their hard-earned money on some real simulator time. Well, that's what we're hoping for anyway. Yeah. And there's no obligation to do that, but obviously the guys have helped us tremendously by organising this, so that would be a nice gesture to them.
Literally can't wait.
And I can't stress as well, for those of you guys who do live in the UK who have got the ability to go down there and have a go as and when, and obviously book an appointment with the guys at NP, that this sim is as real as it gets. Every single switch, dial, computer system, the control yoke, the even down to the fur-lined seats. This is the real thing. This is as is in the real world. It's used as a training sim for 737 captains and pilots.
We're being told off in the chat room, by the way, for once again PT UK confiscating APG hosts, which is unfortunate. Al's very devastated to be missing the buffet, by the way. And we're all very relieved, I think. I don't know about you, Nev. I'm quite relieved there'll be some left.
I was really looking forward to seeing Captain Al piloting, the 737.
That would have been award-winning.
But we have got, obviously, we've got Nick there. Mr. Airbus.
Yeah. This should be a laugh.
So
we might have to film that one.
Yeah,
I feel.
we're probably going to film that just in 4K, just because it's going to be we need to.
So there's
get
going to be a lot of video going on. I think a lot of audio recording, a lot of interviews that we'll be doing there as well. So we'll use that on future shows, which will be really quite interesting. But what I've got to say is the thing that has become very obvious over the last few weeks, and this is obviously is a major inconvenience for these guys, because we are just turning up and we are preventing them from earning real money.
Any money for a whole day.
But actually, they have been so accommodating, and the three guys that run it are the nicest people, and it made such a difference to how we're organising it and our ability to get all you the guys and girls down there. So we've got to thank Paul, Nick, and Joe very much. Absolutely superb.
I'm actually really pleased they're looking forward to it as much as we are. Actually, I think that's what's been really pleasing in all this. I can't wait. It's just going to be good. Anyway, we're going to stop talking about it now, because otherwise we'll get told off by everyone who's listening who can't make it, and I'm very sorry. But as I say, we're going to stream as much of it as we can live next weekend. As I say, we're hoping to have lots of iPhones all connected to the system so that we can have lots of video and things. So it is really if you get the chance to do so, make sure you come to the PT UK YouTube channel, because you'll be able to watch as much of it going on as we can possibly do on the day. We're in fact, when we finish this, unfortunately, Nev, you won't be excused immediately, because we're going to have a little bit of a chat about the final planning.
I think as well what Matt and Nev are going to try and achieve is nearly impossible, but they're going to try and make it so for those of you guys across the globe who can't be with us on the day, you're going to almost feel like you're there, because you're going to be able to see what is going on. So we're hoping it will sort of come across as being.
And of course, don't forget, as I say, we've got a little Twitter hashtag that I've
Hashtag.
fired up, and it will enable you, please, to try and stick this in your phone or stick it in your memory.
I'm gonna write it down now.
PTUK200. So if you send a tweet with the hashtag
capitals or lowercase?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
PTUK200, and then you can actually send us messages, which will go out live as part of the show. So you really can do, not in the chat room. That's not
sorry.
gonna help, is it, you stupid boy? Wow. Yes. You're not used to this whole Twitter hashtag malarkey, are you?
Excuse me. I use Twitter far more than you.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Oh dear.
So we have got as I say, we've got a hashtag which is hashtag PTUK. Please do use it during the show, as it will. It means I can then put your messages up on the screen, and so you'll be able to interact with everybody that's going to be in that room there. As I say, we've got sort of just shy of 40 people who are all going to be in that room there watching us do that. That's the bit that's scaring me. The fact there's going to be nearly 40 people in that room watching us do a show. That's what I'm scared about. But anyway, we'll see. So if you'd like to do that in Twitter, Carlos, I'll pop your message up on the screen. But
okay.
Yeah.
So if I do a tweet now, then
yes. As long as you've got
if I go
hashtag
on to
PTUK, this is riveting stuff for all our listeners. I'm so sorry for you if you are listening.
So go to my
the audio version of this will be lost slightly.
It will indeed.
Right,
yes.
So
but
if I go to
please do. I mean, if you can do it, as I say, we're aiming to sort of be streaming probably from about 12ish. I think is the plan, and we're going to do a live show, a full show. From 2 p.m. I think is our planned start time. We're going to start the show live from 2 p.m. and do a show. But we're going to be streaming as much of what's going on as I said as we can beforehand, so that even if you aren't there, then hopefully, if you want to, by going onto YouTube, you can have a look and see what the get right. Okay, all right, yes.
I done it.
Yeah, you sort of have a look and sort of join in our big 200th, because it really is a big deal. I tell you, I must say actually, we've got some fantastic messages that have been winging their way.
I've just done it.
Yeah, all right, give me a minute.
All right.
Yeah, it has to come up on the machine. Yeah, never mind. He's so impatient, isn't he?
I was just going to say, if anybody would like to send us any messages which we can play out on the 200 show, some of you have already done so, and that's great. But we'd like a few more, so we can just.
Can I ask that you do it sooner rather than later, please? Because come Thursday, poor Matt is going to be a bit busy. So if you could do it sooner rather than later, he would be eternally grateful.
And I can't do it because I can't do it. Oh, there's my tweet. Look, it's on the screen now, everyone. My tweet is there.
Indeed, yes, absolutely.
Oh, look at that. Look.
Yeah, there you are.
Oh,
so dead clever these.
That's it now. My weekend is sorted. I've just seen my tweet live on YouTube.
Right,
there we
good,
go.
Lovely, well done. Yeah.
But I know it's we just I never envisaged all those years ago when I started this show ever reaching 200 for a start.
Yeah.
And not only that, but also having you two guys on and doing a show with me every week. Hello, Nev. And this is happening. It's just really amazing.
I'm so excited. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. So I think that's more or less everything done. Isn't it?
I think we're and apparently the Rogues Barbers are still watching live. So
are they?
Hello, Rogues Barbers.
Well, you see, what they should have done is Rogues Barbers should have sent us a tweet.
Yes, Rogue Barbers should have sent a tweet. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Anyway,
and don't forget, I'll see you Wednesday, guys, because this is not getting any shorter.
No, okay. You're not. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I've banned him from wearing his hat next week as well. Yeah, you're not wearing your hat. No,
you are joking.
No, I'm not joking at all. No, you're not wearing.
Well, I'm not allowed to wear this hat next week for the 200th.
What's the point in having your hair cut and then wearing a hat?
This is an iconic piece of podcast.
No, you've got some wording wrong there. Ironic, I think, is the word that I'm looking for. Anyway.
Right, I think we're gonna have a sweeps. A quick questionnaire in the chat room. Who thinks I should wear my usual podcasting hat next week on the 200th? Answers in the chat room.
Okay.
Well, we've got to see Rob's handiwork, though, haven't we? Really?
Well, this is absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, Rob's already written. Look, no hat.
Yeah, I quite agree. Absolutely. There's no point in spending all that time in doing it. So, if you are listening to the audio version of this show, then please do feel free to contact us via email on podcast@plaintalkinguk.com or send us a tweet. Why not put hashtag PTUK UK 200 and say whether you would like Carlos to wear his hat or not.
Excuse
during
me.
the show. Shush, I'm talking. It is facebook.com/Plain Talking UK, and our Twitter handle is @Plain Talking UK. It's the big show next week, as we're saying. It is our big 200th show. If you can join us live, we would love you to do so. We're going to start streaming probably from about 12 o'clock, all being well, with a live show with loads of special guests and a live audience. So we're going to try and make it as interactive as we can. We've got poor little Owen, who's going to be running around with a radio mic. We've got the legend that is David Corsten. He's going to be operating the camera. It's all planned and ready to go.
And on that note, can I just say that the chat room has spoken.
Right.
And the podcast legend that is Max Flight has said, wear the hat, as has Jennifer.
Okay.
Thomas Mandrake said, yeah, wear the hat. We are seeing some opposing thoughts here from Philip Davis and Captain Al, who've said no hat.
Right, absolutely. I'm with
Philip,
them.
Matt. Jenny Parkinson said, Matt, Carlos, Nev, bring some merchandise to sell at the event. Actually, I didn't think about that. We could take some of the PTUK T-shirts as well with us to there. Good idea.
Varying sizes,
very
you
good
never
idea.
know. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, very sad tweet just come into the
a sad
hashtag
tweet.
PTUK 200. You see, it says Cheryl and I are crushed not to be there. Have a great time.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Very sad. Very sad indeed.
Well, in the meantime, if I do win the lottery this evening,
of course, absolutely,
and become a millionaire, then I will be flying the entire chat room across to the live show. So
right,
there we go.
Will you? Okay, yes. And how will Mrs. Carlos feel about that?
I'll be a millionaire. She can't complain.
Yeah, that's true.
There we go.
I'll give you that.
Also Lucas is in the chat room. Lucas, your 737 model, your amazing Ryanair model that you won on the Christmas competition, is it's on its way to you, possibly in a Ryanair 737 hold. I don't know.
By the way, thank you for your email. Do feel free to send in those tongue twisters, and perhaps we'll have a go at that during the 200th
Lucas.
episode. So
send
please
them in.
do, absolutely. Yeah, do.
So that is where we are going to bring episode number 199 of the Plain Talking UK podcast to a close. We're going to say a huge thanks to everyone who's joined us in the live chat room today. It's been a real busy chat room today, that's for sure. We had loads and loads of listeners in there, and thanks for all you guys, and not forgetting as well everyone who downloads the podcast through iTunes and all the various podcast downloading sites. Thanks to you guys for downloading the show and listening to us each week.
Indeed.
Well, that's it then, guys. We will see you next weekend.
We ain't going anywhere just yet. Have a look at this, please. Have a look at the screen, Carlos. Captain Al just tweeted saying, no hat, it's a health hazard. I think he's right.
Perhaps the hat should be a prize in the summer competition.
Oh my goodness, that is a prize indeed. Yeah, you will wash it first, though.
I'll wash it first.
All right, I could say, please, otherwise Al will be right. Yeah.
There we go. Well, that is where we
on that bombshell.
And on that bombshell, that is where we bring episode 199 to a close. Don't forget, next week, next Saturday, 200th show, live from NP Simulations in London. Yeah. So from me, Carlos, have a great weekend. Have a great Sunday. And, enjoy yourself. Stay safe, fly safe. And from you, Matt?
Yes, from all of us here, it is time to say goodbye. I literally cannot wait. It's just going to be, it's so immense. It's going to be so immense. Any final words, the legend that is Sir Nev?
Yeah, I can't wait for it. There's so much to do still for it, but I'm really looking forward to it. I think everyone's going to have a great time.
I love a challenge.
I think we'll have a great time in the chat room and also the live stream as well.
Yeah, indeed. So from all of us here, it is time to say goodbye. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
See ya. Bye.
Woo-hoo.
Bye.
You know what, you guys in the chat room just honestly have me in stitches. you know, at the end of the show, and you look down at my keyboard or the screen here, and you've got that Richard King has put that my hat could probably have its own podcast.
True, absolutely. It's more famous than you are, probably. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh dear. Oh, as a lot of you guys have said about the start times and stuff for next week, we will be posting obviously all the start times and stuff on Facebook, which will then go on to Twitter for those of you who are not on Facebook. So don't worry, we will post the times.
And this is especially sort of pointed at our wonderful chat room. As I say, the hashtag PTUK200 is a way. It gives us the ability to actually put your messages on screen, as I say. So this is going to be, because we're going to have a big projector screen. If we lay things out how I've got envisaged, there's going to be a big projector screen behind us with the.
That new person in the chat room I just noticed, Mary Mackenzie.
Oh, very cool.
Mary. Hello, Mary.
Indeed. We're going to have a big screen behind us, so everybody in the room will see your tweets as and when we put them up on screen. So it's very exciting. Yeah, can't wait.
All we need to do now is get you a new touchscreen, Matt.
I think I wondered. I wonder if that might be something we could spend some money.
Yeah,
because
I think we should. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'm very grateful because it's been a nightmare. I'm not gonna. To be fair, my phone has been brilliant for the cameras. It's only when it involves videos because you have to go to a different part of the web browser screen to get to it. As I'm so used to it just being in front of me, like to pick the cameras is that would be really helpful.
We're going to have to get one before next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, things will be a bit tricky.
Yes, indeed. Or we might have to. Well, if the worst comes to worst, you might just give me an ordinary mouse. That might solve the issue. But indeed. A touch screen would make life a lot easier.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Well.
We had a really, really great time there today, and
I've got loads of editing to do. But other than that.
Yeah, the chat room's been on form as usual.
Always. As I say, it's the first time we've done a sort of like Saturday afternoon show. I don't think we've ever done a Saturday afternoon before.
No, not. We've done Saturday morning, but not Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see Max Flight in the chat room.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, Max. Yeah,
absolutely.
Actually, just finished listening to their first show after their Bits and Pieces show on.
And guys, seriously, please, if you want to send us some audio feedback, please do. We would love to receive it. But I do beg of you, please, can you get it to us ASAP? Because obviously I'm leaving first thing Friday morning, and I'm going to struggle to have time to do it once we get there. So it's podcast@plaintalkinguk.com. That's podcast@plaintalkinguk.com. Please, we would love to have your feedback, and I will be devastated if you've sent us some feedback and we don't get the chance to play it out. So
Jenny
try
Parkinson
and do it ASAP.
Just said about getting name badges for the 200 show.
We already sorted.
They're here.
Yeah.
The name badges are here.
No, don't worry. They're all here.
Yeah.
Matt's going to try and print all your names and stuff on them, so they'll be waiting for you when you get there. That's the plan anyway.
Yeah.
So we're all going to have name badges on. Myself and Nev, I don't know what you're going to do, but myself and Nev are coming suited and booted, I'll have you know.
Well, I am coming in my shirt and PTUK shirt.
Which is why you can't wear your hat.
And tie.
You can't wear your hat if you're
God,
wearing
for the
your
first
shirt and tie.
time in PTUK history, I'm going to do a show without my hat.
I think that would be brilliant. I mean, if you like, we can hang it up somewhere. So
wasn't there a song? You can leave your
hat
on.
That was a Tom Jones. No, you can't.
Was it Cocker? David Cocker?
Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker?
That was definitely Tom Jones. And
the version you're thinking of.
I'm not sure how appropriate it would be.
No,
really.
indeed. That's the one. It's more where you're going to hang your hat that I'm nervous.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, there we are.
Hold on.
Yeah. Yes. You're going to have to get a different system for that. That's not working. Oh,
there we go.
Yeah.
They got there in the end.
Yeah. Well done. You're going to have to be. I'll tell you what. I think what we'll do is we won't plug your soundboard in. We'll get Jeff to do the
PTUK does the full Monty. Captain Al.
Yeah, but he's not there. You see. And I ain't having him do it on Skype on the big screen. That's
Max has just pointed out, someone made a faux pas, and it wasn't me.
Oh.
It's podcast@plaintalkinguk.com.
What did I say?
You said .co.uk.
What, during the show or just now?
Or was it just during the show, Max, or was it just now? Yeah, just wait for the 22-second delay.
I know.
podcast@plaintalkinguk.com.
Right. Did I just say podcast@plaintalkinguk? I've done that before, you know.
I know you have.
Yeah. I'm a bit useless. That's why. This is why I shouldn't be sat in front of one of these things. You see, I'm supposed to just be pressing buttons in the background. That's what I'm supposed to do.
It might have been me. It might have been him. He said it might.
No. I do that. No,
he does. He does do it.
I'm aware that is a faux pas.
Faux pas.
Indeed, yeah. So hashtag PTUK200 to interact with all our marvellous people in the when we're there. And as I say, please podcast at planetalkinguk.com. Please for your audio feedback. If you would like to send us some in, and please do it. Please do it really soon.
Yeah. Honestly, that is. We do laugh and joke about it and stuff.
I do try very hard to get
when we get voice feedback sent in on say like a Thursday night, and Matt has to render it and get it ready for the show on a Friday. It's not a 10-second job.
No. And if you try and hurry it, then you have mistakes like what happened with Barbara's
Matt is quite particular and very meticulous when he's doing these things and likes to have things lovely. So if you are going to send us any voice feedback in, as Matt just said, try and get it in ASAP. So like probably by Wednesday.
Wednesday at the latest.
Wednesday at the very latest AM.
Because then I can do it Thursday, sort of. So whatever time Wednesday finishes for you, so that I can sit down and do it on Thursday. I mean, I've got some that I'll sit down and do now. Well, not now, but like over the weekend. And
Mariana's just pointed out that Joe Cocker recorded that song before Tom Jones.
He did record it first. The version that became famous here as a result of the film Monty was the Tom Jones version, which is the one that Carlos was referencing.
What's new, pussycat? Oh, sorry.
Indeed. You right there, Nev?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking of the food for next weekend, actually.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's going to be great. So it's going to play havoc with my diet. But,
I know. But I think we're all going to accept that weekend is a weekend off, I think,
I think so.
For all that.
Or you could just starve yourself this week, Nev.
That's pretty much what I'm going to do.
That's true. The only slight snag with that is that I've got a industry event in Glasgow on Wednesday night. This is then followed by a event at the Royal Aeronautical Society at RAF Cosford with Nick and Pip and possibly Adam Spink as well, and they're going to take us out for a pub dinner. So and that will just blend in nicely to the Thursday and Friday. So really,
so you're having a week off, Nev. Lovely.
A lot of calories. At the end of this week,
Nev, you haven't got to necessarily have the full Monty when you go to these pub do's. You could have salad with.
I beg your pardon.
Salmon
salad.
Or I can tell by Nev's face.
He's not talking right, is he? No.
I don't think they do that kind of food at those parts of the world. I'm certainly in Glasgow. I've not seen much salad. Previously,
deep fried Mars bars are the way forward in Glasgow.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's going to be really good.
I have actually had a deep fried Mars bar, by the way.
It
was delicious. It was absolutely.
I'm going to eat my Doritos.
Okay. It was delicious. Anyway, sorry, I was interrupting you. I'm so sorry, Nev.
That's all right. So what I'm going to be doing as well next week down at the 200th show is I'm going to be doing some interviews with people. And if anybody would like to spend 5 or 10 minutes with me in a darkened room, as they say, I will record some Nev's passenger experience segments as well for future episodes. So if anyone would like to talk to me about their flying experience and all that kind of thing, then very happy to do that. And we need to. I just realised we just need to interview Gemma as well because
we do.
She's got something to talk about, hasn't she? Yes. So yeah.
A little birdie told me she might be there, so you might have an opportunity to sit down and actually do that. But we'll see. So so I think a rough plan. We haven't worked out all the logistics yet, but if technology and bandwidth permits, we're going to start probably from have something going on from about 12ish, I would say. And just sort of just try and get it all and then we're going to aim to start a live show from 2:00 and do a normal show. People will be popping in and out, obviously, because people will be having their go in the simulator during.
Thanks, Max. Take care, Max. Bye.
Bye, Max.
He's off to a chicken show.
I beg your pardon?
He's off to a chicken show.
A chicken show? What?
No, seriously.
What, as in Kentucky Fried?
The North East Poultry Association.
Wow. How cool is that? I like that. That is very cool. So yeah. So I don't. I just try to work out the sort of final logistics of things of how we're going to work it all out. But,
we'll make sure everyone's.
Yeah. So, but the plan is to do a live show from 2:00. So if you, as I say, we very much want to play out all your messages. That would be great. But as Carlos said, please
get them
try
in.
And have them emailed.
Send
to
them
me
now.
by the end of by the end of Wednesday, so that I got a chance. So I've got.
And you can do it on your. Don't forget, guys and girls. We've all got smartphones. Obviously, mine's very smart because it's not an iPhone.
Oh, shut up.
But you can obviously. You can
Yours
record.
The one that catches fire, isn't it?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, it is.
You can record. You can do your recordy thing on here. Hello, my name's Bob.
Maybe not that close to it, please.
But you know what I mean. And then send it as an email. podcast@plaintalkinguk.com. So that's an easier way of doing it.
Yeah. You can even record us a voice memo through like Facebook Messenger and things. I don't mind. We don't mind how you get the message to us. Send it to us directly through Facebook.
If you've got long enough string, we're quite happy to get some cups, paper cups, and No.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No, that's.
We'll scrap that idea.
That is a no. That is an adamant.
Is that too tech for you, Matt?
It's too tech. Yeah, bits of string. Yeah, we're gonna get bits of string involved. They might as well come into the building and do it for real. You might as well be at the 200th.
But actually, all the bandwidth hopefully is all nice down there. We did a quick recce a couple of weeks ago, and that's all great. And loads of space. We've got chairs. We've got buffet going on the Saturday, and it's going to be really
that's going to be what I call a grazing buffet. So it's going to be more or less a ready from 12 o'clock, and then some people can just sort of dib in as and when they feel.
Graham Haley's in the chat room. He's just said that the Norfolk Telephone Exchange is still using string and tin cans.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. That's certainly how they do their data connections in rural parts of South Norfolk, especially. Indeed.
Yeah.
We're quite lucky that we're just over the border here in Suffolk because they've heard of broadband here. Actually, ironically, I was having a conversation at a birthday party I went to last night. We were talking about broadband, and one of the things, it's crazy because that little village where not my 40th, I'm way past that now, but one of my friends who lives in a little village called Denton. If you've ever heard of Denton, which is sort of right next to another village called Arborough.
Far away.
Yeah, they're very close together. Not far away from where we are, but the fastest broadband speed that you can get in the little village of Denton is, well, they boast that they can get up to 2 megabit, but in reality...
Did you say 2?
2 megabit, but in reality, that they get... I think the best connection that James has ever had was something like 0.8, 0.9 download speeds, and the upload speed was like 0.15. He times out trying to look at the BBC homepage. It's just ridiculous, really. I know,
I think I'd cry.
I would. I'd go.
If I ran a speed test and it was that low, I would.
Yeah, it'd be bad news, wouldn't it? Anyway,
we better shut this stream down, guys and girls, and pack all this amazing stuff away.
Me and Nev's got to have a quick meeting.
Yeah,
just to sort out the finer points. But so the next time we are on air, we will be at MP Simulations in London.
Yes,
doing, and it will be our big 200th show. That is very scary. I wonder if we.
Thanks, Richard.
I wonder if we should contact Andy, Mr. Furlong, see if he can do something sort of special too. Oh, guys, you should see the cake, by the way.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness
Matt
me.
ate it this morning.
No, I did not. How rude. But, no, my friend she's very modest, but she is just very talented when it comes to making cakes. And bless her, she has done us a very special 200th cake, which I cannot wait to show you. It's just going to be... it's just amazing.
Can we eat it?
Yeah, believe it or not, it is actually dairy-free, gluten-free.
What?
No, don't look at me like that. Dairy-free, gluten-free, and soya-free. And so it is literally... nobody in the entire world can be allergic to it.
Captain Alice, you just upset him.
Have I? Right,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. But it is honestly, it is the nicest cake I have ever tasted. I had a...
See, you have already eaten some.
I have, I had a couple of tastes.
Oh,
we had to have approval. I had to, approve.
You've eaten the 200th.
No, I haven't. I've eaten the tester because
the tail.
No, bless her. She wanted to prove to me that you could make a cake that is free from virtually everything in the entire world and still make it taste amazing. And this cake tasted amazing, and it was like a sponge. It was a sponge. It didn't taste any different to an ordinary sponge. I promise you, you will be blown away by how amazing it is. This girl, I'll tell you, my friend Hayley Payne is incredibly talented.
All right.
Cakefinity.co.uk.
I know her husband painted our house.
Yeah, well, yeah, indeed, yeah, absolutely, indeed, yeah. So anyway, on that bombshell, it's time to go, guys.
Have a good weekend,
very
everyone,
much, and we will see you.
Much
all
love to you all, and take care in all you're doing this weekend.
I know. Oh, I've done it again. I keep bringing the.
Twitter.
I need my touch screen.
Right, we're gonna wave goodbye to everyone in YouTube world.
Okay, yeah. So from all of us, it's time to say goodbye, guys. Bye-bye.
See you guys. Bye.